we are focusing on certain brands in certain therapeutic areas, especially chronic. And also we are building a very robust, innovative pipeline. So our main objective in India is actually to take innovation outside of the world and bring it to India and market it there. We signed a couple of deals. We launched very important products for migraine. And absolutely people will see that we will grow in that area as well.
Now, in terms of India as well, I took from the call that you are potentially looking at getting acquisitive. Is that something that you're going to devote a substantial amount of your cash on hand to do that, or is it going to be more strategic in terms of perhaps just picking up some new product lines for your portfolio?
We look at acquisitions for complementary for our organic growth, so we are not acquisitive in nature. At the same time, we accumulate a lot of cash. We now have more than $700 million surplus and likely to have more in the future. And that money will be dedicated as much as we can for complementary, inorganic. It can be products, it can be companies. We are targeting primarily India and emerging markets, but we are now operating as we speak in all the spaces that we have in order to see if there are opportunities for us.
I've got to ask you, because obviously you have such a substantial portfolio, yes, biosimilars and the like, but just in terms of just a broad drug portfolio, and there's been a lot of, I suppose, chatter of late, a lot of contention as to the impact that these new drugs like an Ozempic or like some of the other offerings, Mounjaro, could potentially have on the broad medical industry. Do you think that a lot of this, or potentially a lot of this, is overdone, that, you know, there's still going to be a rather inherent need for a vast array of other drugs, that these aren't cure-alls and these aren't going to fix a lot of the problems?
We see that the demand is increasing, and we are predicting that this demand will increase also in the next coming years. The penetration of these drugs to the world is still, there is still a lot of room to enter. We see that in Asia, we see it in Eastern Europe, we see it also in America. So we believe that once these products will be off patents and once the prices will be much more affordable, there will be absolutely a surge in demand.
Do you foresee, because I would imagine that, you know, Dr.Reddy's would be looking at this incredibly closely then in terms of the expectations of demand and I suppose the total addressable market, but do you foresee them coming off patent? I know they're having a raft of issues right now in terms of cases in order to do just that, but you know how these things go, that there's always a reason, a little bit of a tweak, and you know, you've got your patent renewed for a further 7 years. So is that likely in your mind, that there's going to be the ability for generic versions of these drugs?
There will be generic versions of these drugs for sure, and the patents of the entire group will be varied, but in the next 5 years, most of these products will be off patents and there will be generic versions of those.